All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome one, welcome all. We are getting close to the end of the day. This is potentially, but hopefully not, the last game of the day for the Acer Teamstory Cup. It is 4-3 in the favor of Invictus Gaming, which means this is match point in this best of 9 between these two teams. And if Taeja can't bring it back, XiGua will have secured victory for his team. We'll see how this goes. Spawning here in the upper right corner of the map. He's blue, he's Terran, and hopefully not going to 11-11 Iraqs again. It is Liquid's Taeja. And for anyone not understanding that reference real quick, Taeja, I feel, defeated himself more than his opponent defeated him. But perhaps that was just to give Invictus Gaming a chance. Who knows? We'll see what happens. His opponent in the lower left playing for Invictus Gaming. He looks like a barcode. No, he's not the barcode you all know from every other server. It's just simply XiGua. I had something witty I was going to say and then immediately decided not to say it. But no, to explain real quick, guys, Taeja did start out for today. He was on a hot streak, 2-0, and then went for an 11-11 racks that really, I feel, did not go in his favor at all. Well, I mean, obviously there's proof of that in the fact that he was knocked out, but the Acer Teamstory Cup does allow this really cool rule where you can revive a player if they're knocked out on match point only. So Taeja, who was knocked out earlier, is back. And this is literally the last hope of Team Liquid, because if Taeja goes down, there is no game to follow it up. Now, Command Center first on the low ground, no less. Feeling a little bit bold against XiGua. XiGua, of course, Mr. Watermelon. Also doing quite well for his team. Very close to the end of the series here. We'll see what he can do. And, okay, had a heart attack moment. For a moment, I thought I forgot to swap scenes. Like everyone who's ever streamed StarCraft 2 knows that feeling where you like get into a game and you realize like, oh, I forgot to swap the scene, my bad. But okay, never mind, we're good. Panic unnecessarily averted. Gas gonna follow this up though. Taeja definitely gonna get some Hellions on the field. I mean, it's I actually like this repairing the SCV here, kind of a cute move. XiGua pretty good with his micro, I gotta say, being very annoying for this command center. But of course, we'll finally be driven out by the SCV. 3 hatcheries coming down meanwhile on the other side of the field before pool, guys. So, seeing greed, XiGua responds with his own greed. I really like this move, actually. There's... Oh god, is he still... Oh my god, he's... Oh my god, this is... This drone! How is this drone still being so annoying? Poor Taeja, no Marines, no Reapers, can't clean it up easily. But the command center, okay. It lost probably, if I had to guesstimate, like 5 or 10 seconds of build time out of all of that. Oh my god, he gets the S... Suddenly, this is really... Okay, so Taeja loses the SV. That sucks. But what that really says for XiGua is that like he was able to put 3 hatcheries down. He's able to get away with everything he wanted and even snipe off the SCV. No, he didn't shut the command center down, but Taeja cannot be happy with the way that went at all. Factory going to be following suit. Reactor will be down here in just a moment, and perhaps he'll say, "All right, you get my SCV, I'll pay you back with like 11 drone kills," as he gets some Hellions across the field. I don't know. I'm really excited and curious at the same time what Taeja's going to do this game. I mean, most likely it's going to be bio. You don't see a lot of players play mech into Zerg anymore, although there are a lot of people who insist it's viable. Avilo, Strelok, Goody, HCO Mario. There are players who make it work. And Taeja is certainly someone who can play mech. But in the ace match of Team Liquid versus Invictus Gaming... Oh wow, that's a really fast third. I'll talk about that in a second. I wholly and entirely expect him to play bio, but he definitely needs to get some Marines on the field. Or sorry, not Marines, rather Hellions out on the field so he can start getting some map control. But XiGua, his creep spread hasn't exactly been out of control. He doesn't have those extra queens dedicated for the creep just yet. They're now coming out of the hatchery, so nothing too crazy at the moment. Oh, 2 Marines gonna have to micro well. Taeja cannot catch a break versus this guy. The ruthless, the relentless Chinese Zerg player known as XiGua. But anyways, the third commanders are going to be down. What's interesting about this is the fact that Taeja's actually building this on location. Everyone and their mother expects this to be coming down in the main, to be transferred into an orbital, and then float on over. And this Overlord is going to be looking to scout for that quick 3rd CC. After not seeing a 3rd CC down, XiGua might think there... I mean, there's not a lot of 2-base Terran all-ins that you're going to see with this sort of build associated with them. But XiGua may misread what's going on. He needs to confirm that 3rd command center is on the field so he feels a little bit more easy. Because what he sees right now is a severe lack of buildings. And that will put anybody on edge. Because he doesn't know what's on the field. Like, if you see that 3rd CC down, you're like, okay, that's where 400 resources went But if you don't see it, it's like, wow, okay, that could be hidden racks. That could be a proxy starport. I mean, as unlikely as it is, it's still things that go through your mind. And you go like, this is possible. Unlikely, but possible. Let's make sure I'm not talking about my ass. You didn't scout that command center, right? No, you didn't. Okay. But Stim Pack coming up. We got lots more production underway here. Barracks coming down behind the second reactor. Taeja going to have a lot in the field, and more than enough to deal with what it's going to be coming. That's just small amounts of links for the time being. This no sort of Roach War, no sort of big bust on the way. Evolution Chambers and Baneling Nest coming down. And XiGua most likely going to be playing this Baneling Ling Mutalisk. Now, this is kind of interesting, actually, because this is really the only way I feel you can play this matchup right now outside of Mac. But let's pretend for a second that that's not an option because we wouldn't expect that out of Taeja. Going into this matchup, knowing that, like, it takes a lot of the weight off of your shoulders, knowing that, look, I am only going to play this one strategy because my opponent's also going to play, like, Biomine. So then it comes down to, like, who can practice better and who's better with their control when it comes to this particular matchup. So there are some players who, you know, for example, they loved Mutalisk versus Mutalisk and Zerg versus Zerg because, all right, they knew what was coming, they knew how to get around it, and they could capitalize on the fact that that was going to be the exact matchup, like 9 times out of 10. So XiGua, with some beautiful creep spread, by the way, I just want to point that out there. Started off slow, but looking really good now. Is going to know what's coming out of Taeja, and vice versa for Taeja. He'll know there's going to be Banelings associated with this. He's going to know Mutalisks will be on the field, and I think a lot of this is going to come down to control. Now, I don't want to jinx it, guys, but every time for the last week that I've cast on Derelict Watcher, it has been truly an epic match. We'll see if we get the same sort of results here today. Marines going to stim, should be able to take out these Zerglings. Zerglings do kind of chip away at the SCVs. Kind of an interesting build location of these depots. I guess going to try and wall up a little bit to create more of a choke around the natural instead of having to fight so blindly at the third. Will be kind of cool to see just how Taeja plans to utilize this. But meanwhile, creep spread from these queens is ridiculous. It's looking really good here. He's got a lot of tumors out in the field. Nowhere close to the amount that Red had yesterday, by the way, guys. Just want to comment on that. Red had some of the best creep spread I've ever seen in my life going on yesterday. On this map, too, no less. But 4th base coming down for XiGua. He's looking to be okay. Neither player quite gearing up to the point where they can go for some sort of decisive attack, but they do want to start trading blows, especially Taeja wants to make sure his opponent's kind of on the back burner and not able to just freely macro however he wants, because the last thing Taeja wants to do is let XiGua sit back, get freaking ultra attack on the field or something, and not have to worry about any sort of pressure. But a big stim, a little bit preemptively, I feel, but going to utilize this to sort of run forward. Should be able to take out quite a few of these creep tumors. Yeah, Medivacs now joining, so that's Stim less of a problem. The Great Wall of China that Taeja is erecting does have a bit of a hole in it, I think. I don't know, we'll see in a second. Banelings on the field, but of course they're on creep without speed, so a moderate way to connect. There we go, they do pick up all the Marines. Sadly, the Hellions do go down in a blaze of glory, but Banelings do bust through the lower part of the wall. Taeja able to hold this, though, nonetheless. Ling's going to try and run on in, but between Medivacs and between Stimpaks, he should be able to hold this. But his attention perhaps elsewhere on the map right now doesn't see those Lings coming initially, and they do connect to a couple of these workers. Not going to kill too many. Does get it cleaned up quite nicely, and of course the wall up at the natural will keep Taeja safe and sound for now, but XiGua, meanwhile, responding to these Marines. Oh, Taeja, you need to lift up. Does pick up a majority of the Marines and gets on out. But he did clear up a lot of creep tumors. Not all the creep tumors, and XiGua's already replacing the ones that did go down, but creep is such a big deal in this matchup, and it's really important you keep it at its bay as a Terran player. It's not just map vision, but it's movement speed. For the difference, for those who don't know, maybe the more casual StarCraft viewer, Banelings with speed cannot keep up to Stim Marines off of creep. Banelings with speed on creep outruns Stimmed Marines. So creep, it can be a really big deal, guys, and it gives map vision, it gives movement speed. It's like having another resource pretty much. And Queenstone here will get caught. The Marines should be able to finally clean this up. A couple Banelings will connect to those Widowmines, but they don't actually kill them. So these Widowmines will get some pretty good hits off on the Mutalisk, and the Overlord even goes down, so no potential for an Overseer. These Queens are killed, and now there's no more additional creep spreading Queens on the field. So what XiGua loses will not be replaced unless he gets some more Queens out. We do have Ventricle Sacks coming up. A little bit of an interesting choice. I guess perhaps wants to leapfrog past the Great Wall of China and dump here. I don't know. This is really weird. Lowers the depot. The Banelings connect to a lot of this army, actually, and a couple more depots go down, but these run-bys are not getting the effect that they want to, just thanks to, I mean, okay, that was probably like 500 resources lost for Taeja, but just as much for XiGua just to bust that down. Banelings, they're so cool. They're so volatile, and they can even the playing field really quickly. But that's the problem. They don't give you an advantage in that regards. They just even it out most of the time. Because you lose that unit, you can't use it again. Unless you're willing to go for like some sort of killing blow crush where you've got like between 50 to 70 Banelings on the field, Hyun style if you will, then they're not going to be too effective more than just trading out. At least in small numbers like we've seen. But looks like this army gonna have to ravelry from behind, or not ravelry, what I'm saying. Cavalry from behind. Thank you for the English lessons with Rifkin, ladies and gentlemen. But Banelings are going to go off here. Widowmines will connect to a lot of them, but there's still more to come. But there's more Banelings. Oh no! Nice spreading out of Taeja. Holy moly! Will hold on to this 3. Widowmines are here, ready to be armed, so he can run on top of these if he needs to. Oh my god, the hits do go off, but they do friendly fire a lot of the Marines, and these medevacs need to boost on out. Mutalisk will outrun the medevacs, but of course the army's here to reinforce, so not a problem. That's the word I was trying to make earlier. Reinforce and cavalry, thus ravelry. Words with Rifkin, guys. Words with Rifkin. Meanwhile, drop going on at the 3rd while this went on. Did clean up quite a few of the workers. Ling's trying to respond to this. Actually, didn't clean them up. They were just retreated, so XiGua holds on to that, but the 4th base under attack. Widowmines are all rearming. Going to be very difficult to get on top of this Bioforce. More... I like the spreading out of Taeja. I love the way he's moving these Widowmines around, but friendly fire's a hell of a drug, and that's why we see him onboarding the Widowmines. He does not want them going off on the Marines here. The account is not significant. He will knock down the base, though, and should be able to get out alive. If he wants, if he really wants to press the issue, he can take out the extractors, but I think getting the hatchery is going to be enough for now. The drop in the 3rd base, however, is continuing to go off, constantly lifting up, constantly redropping. How many workers killed at this point? Not too many, but he gets the hatchery. Taeja snipes both bases, 3rd and 4th, with a magnificent split push. Really well handled. And if he keeps this up, guys, we will certainly see Game 9. I'm pining for it. I'm hoping for it. But XiGua, man, he is on the ropes. He's not in a bad spot, but the army supply is half that of Taeja. Some solid Baneling connects could quickly make that turn around, but oh god, this is looking really scary for XiGua. He needs perfect connects. Taeja is spreading out his Widowmines so well. It's like a checkerboard here, guys. And these Marines, we've seen some great splitting already. We're not seeing the best control right now, but I think it's because Taeja's busy worrying about the micro on these Widowmines. Is going to send back through the minefield. And then, oh my god, all the Banelings are taken out. Mutalisk even being peppered off here. And this was kind of... Taeja is like one of the few people who does Widowmine macro, guys. We see him unburring them, make sure they don't go off. They do not accidentally arm on like one random overlord when he wants these to be available for the Banelings, for the Mutalisk, for whatever he can. 3-3 finishing up now. It's going to be 3-3, and this is going to make it really difficult. I know it just said redundancy there, but Mutalisk going to try and connect. Banelings are going to try and do what they can, but of course Marines just stim backwards. And long distance mining is going to be a bit of a problem. Drones are going to be taken out. We got Taeja just pushing on in. More Banelings coming in, but they're not done yet. Good game is called, and Taeja will even this up 4-4. We're going to go to Game 9. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, Invictus Gaming can revive any player. Will they bring out Max Ed? Or will they count his victory earlier as a fluke? We'll have to see. See. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I get tongue-tied when I'm so excited. But yes, this will be probably the last set of ads, guys.